Hello, sports fans. It is Tuesday, September the 30th, the year 2014. And as always, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Great to be back with you guys. NFL picks for week number 5 coming up shortly. Let's recap the Monday Night Football game from last night where the Kansas City Chiefs at home just plastered the New England Patriots 41-14. Chiefs up to 2-2, Patriots down to 2-2. Let me start with Kansas City. Kansas City has done a really nice job rebounding after a slow start this year. They looked terrible in week 1 against Tennessee. They got run off the field. Started to play better in Denver in week 2, even though they lost. Then they looked very good in Miami last week, and they looked even better last night against New England. Kansas City did whatever they wanted on both sides of the ball. I thought Alex Smith played really well. I thought Andy Reid's play calling was very good. The defense stepped up in a big way, had a couple of takeaways. Really nice job by the Kansas City Chiefs last night. And how good is that crowd? How amazing is Arrowhead Stadium and those fans? I think they set some, record for the noise level last night. If you ever get out to Kansas City, please go to Arrowhead and see a game. That place is to die for. The fans are amazing out there. They were a huge factor in the game last night. So Kansas City, I like what I see from them. New England, what in the world is going on with them? They have major issues. I am not used to seeing a Bill Belichick team have this many issues. Now, he usually figures it out. We got to give him time, and they usually respond to New England. They have all sorts of problems. First of all, what's with their offensive line? A total mess. They can't block anyone. Brady has no time to throw. And then when Brady does have time to throw, he's looked off his game all year. He even looked off his game against Oakland last week. Brady not playing well. The defense not playing well. New England not making any big plays down the field. New England looks like an average team at best. Now, like I said, Belichick, so good, usually figures it out. You got to give him time. His teams usually get better as the season goes on. But right now, they look like they have major, major issues, New England, so we'll keep an eye on them. Nice job by Kansas City getting the win last night. All right, without further ado, let's get to our Week 5 picks in the NFL. And by the way, the last 2 weeks, I have been on fire with my NFL picks. 10-3 last week against the spread, and 11-5 the week before. I mean, what is that? 21-8 against the spread the last 2 weeks? I mean, that's on fire. I guess that means I'm in for a bad week this week. You can't have too many good weeks in the NFL. It's just too hard to pick that good consistently. Anyway, let's get to our picks. By the way, Miami and Oakland have off this week because they had the London game. The Raiders fire their coach. No surprise there. Good luck with whoever takes that job. I mean, you talk about a mess of a situation. Imagine being the coach of the Raiders right now. They are absolutely lost in all facets of the game. All right, let's get to our Week 5 picks. Let's start with the Thursday night game with the Green Bay Packers on -9.5 against the Minnesota Vikings. Both teams 2-2, one of my favorite stadiums of all time, Lambeau Field. Bridgewater, from what I hear, will play for Minnesota. He did sprain his ankle last week. They're saying he will play. If he can't go, it will be Ponder, who I don't like at all. Remember, Castle is out for the year. Minnesota and Bridgewater played very well last week. Green Bay also played well last week in Chicago. I like Green Bay here. I can't see Minnesota going into Green Bay and winning this game. Even if Bridgewater plays, he's going to have a short week to prepare. We saw what that did to Cousins last week with Washington when he had a short week to prepare. I mean, he was firing up interceptions left and right. So I don't think Bridgewater's going to play as well as he did last week, even if he does play. Green Bay really found something last week. Rodgers had 4 touchdown passes. They kind of beat Chicago handily. I expect Green Bay to play better football. I know they have some issues on the offensive line. The defense isn't all that great. But I think Green Bay has more than enough to beat Minnesota. So I like Green Bay to cover the 9.5, win by about 14 points in Lambeau Field. So Green Bay -9.5 against Minnesota at Lambeau Field on Thursday night. All right, let's go to the Sunday games. Let's go to Carolina with the 2-2 Carolina Panthers on -3.5 against the 2-2 Chicago Bears. I'll tell you, Carolina has really fallen apart the last 2 weeks. They look awful the last 2 weeks. Pittsburgh blew them out, and then Carolina followed it up with another atrocious performance last week against Baltimore. So Carolina's going in the wrong direction. Chicago, they're kind of up and down. They have a lot of injuries in their secondary. To me, this is a field goal game all the way. It's 3.5 points. I will grab Chicago with the 3.5 points. The game could go either way. I think it's a field goal game either way. A very important game for both teams. All right, so I'll take Chicago there plus 3.5. Let's go to Tennessee, where the 1-3 Tennessee Titans are minus 2.5 against the 1-2 Cleveland Browns. Cleveland had a bye week last week. Why is Tennessee favored in this game? And I don't want to hear about home field and all that kind of stuff. Tennessee 3 weeks in a row has gotten blown out. I mean, they have gotten dusted the last 3 weeks. Now, I know Cleveland isn't great, but they're showing signs of major improvement this year. They came back against Pittsburgh and fell short. They had a nice win against New Orleans. Cleveland played a good game against Baltimore before losing to them. I think Cleveland's better than Tennessee. We don't know about Locker this week for Tennessee. He didn't play last week. You may get Whitehurst again. I don't like Tennessee at all. I mean, they've gotten drubbed the last 3 weeks. I will take Cleveland off the bye week to go into Tennessee and win this game. I'll take Cleveland plus 2.5 in Nashville. Let's go to Philadelphia, where the Philadelphia Eagles are minus 7 against the St. Louis Rams. Philadelphia coming off their first loss last week out in San Francisco, where their offense didn't score a touchdown. St. Louis, I don't think they're a good team. They're playing still their third-string quarterback. Long is still out. As much as I like Fisher as the coach, I can't take St. Louis here. Look for Philadelphia to respond in a big way. Now remember, their offense was shut out last week in San Francisco. That's not going to happen 2 weeks in a row. They're going to get fat on St. Louis this week. Look for Philadelphia to explode and beat St. Louis rather handily. I like Philadelphia minus 7 against St. Louis in the city of brotherly love. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey, where the New York Giants are minus 4.5 against the Atlanta Falcons. Both of these teams come in 2-2. The Giants have won 2 in a row. Atlanta very sloppy on the road. Very sloppy. It's amazing. In the beginning of the year when you watched the Giants, did you think they would be 4.5-point favorites over Atlanta after the first 2 weeks of the season? But here they are, 4.5-point favorites over Atlanta. As much as I like what I've seen from the Giants the last 2 weeks, and as much as I don't like Atlanta on the road, I think the spread is a little too high. I mean, I think this is a field goal game either way. I will grab Atlanta with the 4.5 points. Atlanta's got to show me something on the road this week. I think they will play a better game on the road this week. The Giants, listen, let's not make them Super Bowl contenders yet. I know they've played well the last 2 weeks, but come on, let's bring it down a notch. I do think this is a field goal game. Could go either way. I will grab Atlanta with the 4.5 points. Atlanta, you better show me something on the road this week. Show a little pride. Play a little defense this week on the road. So I like Atlanta plus 4.5. That is a pick'em game. Could go either way. Let's go to New Orleans, the Superdome, one of my favorite stadiums in all of the NFL, where the New Orleans Saints are minus 10.5 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams come in at 1-3. Tampa Bay off the big rally against Pittsburgh last week. No one saw that coming. New Orleans, I was just talking about Atlanta on the road. How bad has New Orleans been on the road? They are 0-3 on the road. They play much better at home, New Orleans. I expect New Orleans to come home and take care of business. Tampa Bay got their win. I don't see Tampa Bay getting many wins this year. They got their win last week. I cannot see New Orleans losing at home here. New Orleans better win this game. You drop to 1-4 in the NFL. I mean, that is really, really serious danger time. They have to respond at home here. I think they will. I think Drew Brees and that offense will get going. New Orleans too much for Tampa Bay. I like New Orleans minus 10.5 against the Buccaneers. Let's go to Dallas, the Big D, Jerry Jones Stadium, where the Dallas Cowboys are minus 4 against the Houston Texans. Both teams a surprising 3-1. We have a big rivalry game here. Both teams, in the state of Texas going at each other. I like what Houston's doing. They do some nice things on defense. I like how Dallas has responded as well with their offensive line. They have some playmakers. I got to go with Dallas here. I just have to go with Dallas just because they're more explosive on offense. Houston doesn't have a great offense. I think Dallas can do some things on offense. They can explode on you with Romo to Bryant. I think Dallas, close game early. Dallas starts to pull away with some big plays late. So I like Dallas to win at home against Houston. Dallas minus 4 there. Let's go to Detroit, With the Detroit Lions on -7 against the Buffalo Bills. Detroit 3-1 leading their division. Buffalo 2-2's dropped 2 in a row. They are benching Manuel, their starting quarterback, and they are going with Orton as their starting quarterback. What's that all about? We're putting Kyle Orton in already? I mean, have you lost that much confidence in Manuel? I know Manuel was awful last week. He had 2 terrible interceptions. But do we think Kyle Orton is the answer? I can't take Buffalo with Kyle Orton on the road against an improved Detroit team, a Detroit team that can score, a Detroit team that's solid at home. I think Detroit should win this game. I like Detroit to win this game by double digits. Detroit -7 against the Kyle Orton Buffalo Bills. All right, let's go to Indianapolis. Here's an interesting game. The Indianapolis Colts -3.5 against the Baltimore Ravens. Indianapolis 2-2. They've won 2 in a row. Baltimore doing a nice job. They are 3-1. This is a very, very tough game. Very interesting game. To me, this is one of those field goal games, so I will grab Baltimore with the 3.5. Once again, the game could go either way. I'll take the underdog here. Very, very intriguing game. This is one of the must-watch games, I think, of Sunday afternoon. Very, very nice game. I'll grab Baltimore with the 3.5. I think it's a field goal game either way. I'll take the Ravens plus 3.5 in Indianapolis. Let's go to Jacksonville, where the Pittsburgh Steelers are -6.5 against the winless Jacksonville Jaguars. Pittsburgh 2-2. Pittsburgh coming off that absolutely brutal, atrocious, embarrassing loss to Tampa Bay, where they let Tampa Bay march down the field and win the game with basically no time left. I still can't believe it happened. I still can't believe Pittsburgh lost to Tampa Bay at home. Disgraceful. I'll tell you what. If you're the Steelers and Mike Tomlin, you better win this game. This is the soft part of your schedule. You just lost to Tampa Bay. You don't want to follow it up losing to winless Jacksonville. If Tomlin and the Steelers lose this game, first of all, I think they'd be buried as far as anything with the playoffs or the division. But they will be calling, for Tomlin to be ousted. I mean, they are going to be all over Tomlin if he loses back-to-back games to Tampa Bay and Jacksonville. I don't think that's going to happen. Jacksonville is too bad. Even the Steelers, can't mess this game up. I think the Steelers will win this game. They'll find a way. I'm sure they'll make it interesting. I'm sure they'll have, 30 penalties in the game and 2 turnovers, 8 drop passes, and their defense will be carved up. The secondary will be giving up plays left and right. But I think the Steelers will have too much on offense for Jacksonville. Jacksonville can't stop anyone. So I have Pittsburgh to cover the 6.5 and beat the Jaguars down in North Florida. Let's go to Denver. Very nice game here, where the Denver Broncos are -7.5 against the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. Palmer will play. Denver, of course, 2-1, coming off that heartbreaking loss at Seattle. Denver had a bye week. Very interesting game. When I look at this game, I think the spread is too high, though, 7.5. Not giving Arizona any respect. Palmer is going to play this week. Arizona's looked like one of the better teams in football. I mean, come on. I know we know Denver is a really good team. I know they play well at home, but come on, it's 7.5 points. You're not showing any respect for Arizona. They are undefeated. They are getting their quarterback back. They do have a good defense. They do have Fitzgerald. Let's give Arizona some credit here. Do I think Denver's going to win? Probably. 7.5, way too much. I'll take Arizona plus 7.5 in Denver. Let's go out to San Francisco, where the San Francisco 49ers are -8.5 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Both teams 2-2. Like I said before, the Chiefs have looked much improved the last 2 weeks. San Francisco got a much-needed win against Philadelphia last week. Now, San Francisco has still all sorts of guys out on defense. I really like San Francisco, though. I still think they're one of the best teams in the league. They just got to get their act together. They got to get healthy. Kaepernick's got to be more consistent. When I looked at this spread, I said it's way too high. San Francisco hasn't been covering the number at all this year, and Kansas City has looked really good the last 2 weeks. Now, I know you could have a Monday night hangover. You're going to the West Coast. I understand all that. But come on, 8.5 points? These teams have the same record. Kansas City, to me, actually the last 2 weeks has probably looked better than San Francisco. So to me, this spread is way too high. And much like the Denver game, I think San Francisco is going to win. But no respect for Kansas City. Did anyone watch the game last night? They played really well. San Francisco has not been firing on all cylinders despite the win against Philly last week. So I like San Francisco to win, but Kansas City to cover this big number. Kansas City plus 8.5 in Santa Clara. Let's go to San Diego, where the San Diego Chargers are -7 against the New York Jets. San Diego, of course, 3-1, looking really good. They are atop their division. Jets 1-3. They are going the other way fast. They've dropped 3 in a row. Looks like Geno Smith will start at quarterback this week, and rightfully so. You pick Geno Smith high in the draft. Give him a chance to do something. Now, I don't love Geno Smith, and I probably wouldn't have picked him in the draft. But since the Jets picked him, let's see what he can do. I mean, I can't believe the fans that want Michael Vick. I mean, come on. Michael Vick is way past his prime. I think I read a stat where his last 17 starts, he's 5-12. He's never healthy. And what is that going to do for the Jets putting Michael Vick in the game? I mean, the Jets are not a Super Bowl contender, so you're going to put Michael Vick in, and what's going to happen? Then you put Geno Smith on the bench, and then what's going to happen with him? Play Geno Smith, see what you have with him. Now, I don't know if you're going to get anything from Geno Smith. I don't know if he's going to be a star in this league, but you took him that high in the draft. See what he can do. Michael Vick, at this stage, keep Michael Vick as the backup. Let's see what Geno Smith can do. As far as this game, come on. This should be all San Diego. San Diego is better than the Jets. Both teams headed in opposite directions. I expect a lot from San Diego this year. Rivers is on fire. Defense can make some stops. San Diego should win this game by double digits. I like San Diego to cruise against the New York Jets out in Southern California. Let's go to the Sunday night game. Here's a beauty of a Sunday night game. The New England Patriots at home, -3 against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are undefeated. New England is 2-2 and has not looked good at all this year. Why is New England favored in this game? I'll tell you why they're favored. They're home, and they have so much respect for Brady and Belichick. Everyone feels like they're going to turn it around eventually. I'm sorry, though. I don't trust New England right now. I think Cincinnati is a better team, and from what I saw from New England last night, they are running into an ambush here. I mean, Cincinnati can beat you up physically. They play good defense. New England can't move the ball from here to there. I think Tom Brady is going to be under siege in this game. I think Cincinnati is going to smack New England around on Sunday night. I mean, I know I'm upsetting all the Patriot fans, and hey, I have nothing but respect for New England and Brady and Belichick and what they've done. But I think Cincinnati is just a better team right now. I will grab the 3.5 points, whatever it is. This spread will probably go down during the week. I think the Bengals win this game outright. I like Cincinnati +3 in New England on Sunday Night Football. And as far as the Monday night game next week, the Seattle Seahawks are -7 against the Washington Redskins. Of course, Seattle had a bye after their big win against Denver. Washington, of course, has Cousins quarterbacking the team. He looked awful against the Giants. It's funny, Cousins, that first game he played, looked really good against Philadelphia, but looked just as bad against the Giants, that second start he got. Seattle's a better team. I know they're not as good on the road as they are at home, but come on, the Giants just bombed Washington. Do we expect Seattle to lose this game? I know 7's a little high on Monday night with the home fans and all that. Seattle's better. Seattle's the cream of the crop of the league. We don't know what Washington is. I mean, Washington to me at best is probably mediocre. I'll take Seattle to win this game by 10 points. I like Seattle to beat Washington on Monday Night Football. Seattle -7 against the Washington Redskins. So those are your picks for week number 5 in the NFL. Should be another really good week. There's some really good games in the NFL this week. New England, Cincinnati is must-watch. Indiana, Baltimore is must-watch. Denver, Arizona is a very good game. I mean, Carolina, Chicago is intriguing. Giants, Atlanta is intriguing. Dallas, Houston, intriguing. So you got some good stuff in the NFL this week, so make sure you catch some of the games. All right, as far as baseball today, baseball playoffs start today. American League wild card, Oakland at Kansas City. I'll tell you, I was talking about Arrowhead Stadium, the football stadium in Kansas City. Kauffman Stadium, the baseball stadium, is just as gorgeous. If you ever get out to Kansas City, check out a baseball and football game. I mean, those are two great stadiums. Should be a really tremendous matchup tonight, Oakland and Kansas City. I should be a great pitching matchup as well. I don't know what to make of this game. Oakland limped into the playoffs. Kansas City has home field. A very, very strange game. Should be a nice baseball game today, though, as well. And as far as the National League wild card game, that starts tomorrow, and then we go from there. By the way, I failed to mention yesterday, all the Jeter stuff over the weekend was really great. The fans at Fenway Park treated Jeter very well, gave him a great ovation many times, just like they gave Rivera great ovations last year. So great job by the Fenway fans saluting Jeter. And what happened at Yankee Stadium last Thursday where Jeter got that game-winning hit, you couldn't make that up. I mean, that was just unbelievable. So great stuff with all the Jeter stuff. I mean, Jeter will be missed. He did it the right way, just like Mariano Rivera. Tremendous player, one of the all-time greats. So nice job saluting Jeter by the Yankee fans and the Red Sox fans and all of baseball during this whole year. Derek Jeter will be missed. All right, so you guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. College football picks tomorrow. We got some big games in college football. Finally, we got some good stuff in college football. I've waited basically the whole month of September for some good games. September was a light month, but we are starting off October the right way. We got some big games. There's at least 6 big games this week in college football, so I'll make my college football picks tomorrow. You guys enjoy Oakland at Kansas City tomorrow. I will be back with you tomorrow. Like I said, college picks. We'll touch on a little bit of the baseball, and we'll go from there. You guys stay safe. Enjoy the baseball tonight. Talk to you tomorrow. College picks. Take care.